that. You and I both know that they haven't played for one. It pisses you off and it pisses me off. It's unacceptable. It should have been done by now. I'm not sure what an owner is supposed to do and come out and say to people. Usually we hear from Sheila, what, once a year, twice a year? Most owners, I don't want Jerry Jones. How often are you going to hear? How much does Pittsburgh hear from the Rooneys? I don't know. I don't know why it's so important that you hear from an owner other than she has had press conferences before when certain changes have been made. Has she done anything, in your words, to get them there? Done nothing more to get them there. What is it you think she's preventing them from doing? Would be my question. I'm not going to try and tell you she's the greatest owner in the sport, and I'm trying to tell you she's the best owner in the city. But I'm trying to figure out what you are expecting from an ownership group. They provide money, do they not? I mean, there's a salary cap in football. They provide money. Yes. Have they hired people, the right people? I think they have. I hope I'm right about that. I think they have. Do you think she's prevented them from acquiring an edge rusher? I don't think she has. Have they enhanced the experience for fans at Ford Field and Allen Park? Yes. I'm trying to figure out from you what you're looking for. Like if this were a Chris Ilitch situation where he's hiring the wrong people because those people are not getting them anywhere. Steve Eisman for 7 years, right? An admittance of saying we'll spend when the timing is right via his GM at the time, Scott Harris, or president of baseball ops, whatever. I just don't get it. I get the frustration and quite honestly, the anger directed at the Lions for not winning yet, because I'm with you on that. I am. I can be pretty angry about it. I'm not sure what she's prevented this organization from doing. Shep, when they were actually winning to get to the playoffs, they will start talking and being arrogant from their president to GM to quarterback to players. What happened to acting like you've been there before? Oh, they have not. Well, I think therein lies the frustration with the texter and anybody else. And that is, you're going to come out and talk while you're winning. Are you going to talk while you're losing? The answer to that is not, or no, in this situation. So I understand where you get a little upset with that. And Jared Goff being upset at the fans, and some people take it really personal. I don't think it's a smart move by any athlete to take a shot at fans by any stretch. But the fans don't seem to be too upset about it overall.
It was the biggest deal in the world back then, though. It felt like everybody was so upset about that.
Yeah, I know. The attitude of organizations in general, how do they change? Pittsburgh's been there. San Francisco's been there. Dallas has been there. New England has been there. Look, I know people in Dallas, they're pissed off at their owner, and he's got a championship. He's got multiple championships. They're pissed off at the Dallas Cowboys because they're not winning the way they expect to be winning. And all you do is hear from their owner, and they're tired of hearing from their owner. Here, the Lions aren't winning, and people are pissed that they're not hearing from their owner. So damned if you do, sometimes damned if you don't. I'm a little confused at that. I will say this about the Lions, though. I agree with the texter from this sense. The expectations in our town, in our state, are not high enough. And let me give you an example. I was going to talk about this a little bit later on. But now that the texter has brought it up, I think it's important to get to. No team, look, based on ESPN rankings, for what it's worth, okay? No team has as much talent as the Detroit Lions. Based on ESPN's rankings, remember we've gone over this every single day just about this week of quarterback rankings. ESPN does a survey with executives, scouts, and players. And you have the top 10 players at each position. They don't go offensive line and defensive line based on position. They just do interior defensive line or edge rushers and so on and so forth. We've gone over that, right? Okay. Based on that, the Lions have the most top 10 players. They have 5 or more. The Lions have 9. The Eagles have 8. The Chiefs 7. The Texans 6. The Broncos, Ravens, Cowboys, Niners, and Rams all with 5. That says an awful lot, don't you think? If that's the case and you buy into that, that's a big if. Doesn't mean you have to, but it's a big if. If you buy into that and the Lions want to brag about that, then you should be in a Super Bowl or you should be competing for a Super Bowl. It does tell you, though, that the window that everybody likes to talk about is not even close to being closed. I mean, outside of Jared Goff, all the players that are ranked as highly as they are young players, whether it be Gibbs or Laporta or St. Brown or Hutchinson or Sewell, right, or Campbell. They're all still young players. So when you get some fans who are really frustrated with the organization and the way they're talking about the organization, I think they're referring to the interview with Chloe, who said, to be part of a great organization. Is it a great organization? The people there and how they run things in general, it's a broad brush, do it the right way. Has it paid off in a Super Bowl? Obviously it hasn't. Has it paid off enough wins? 2 division championships isn't enough for us to be satisfied, and it shouldn't be. Raise the blessed bar in this town. I'm tired of people just assuming that, well, it's like with the Red Wings right now. Let's start the rebuild all over again. Who in their right mind after 10 years, but 7 years under Steve Eisman, who in their right mind feels like you want to rebuild again? Get somebody in there who knows what the hell they're doing, can draft the right people, make the right trades. And why do you have to go through a rebuild? You know what a rebuild means, right? It's overhauling everything. You shouldn't have to do that. So super excited that the Lions have as many talented players, but this is something you and I have talked about for a while now. This is a team you have to have greater expectations. I don't expect them to win every single game. No, that's unrealistic expectations. But in the end, this team should be winning this division. This team should be one of the contenders in the NFC. The expectation should be an NFC championship appearance at least. And at some point, we hope that we're getting to a Super Bowl in our lifetime. And I think it should be within the next couple of years. I would expect it to be this year. But I said this a year ago, and I said it the year before that too. The addition, the latest 9 players that we just discussed, 2 of them are safeties now. ESPN came out with their final rankings for the week for safeties. All right, so we have seen the running backs, and Jahmyr Gibbs is in the top 5. He's number 2. We've seen cornerbacks. They don't have any. We've seen edge rushers, and Aiden Hutchinson is 5. We've seen defensive tackles. The Lions don't have any there. We've seen tight ends, and Sam Laporta is 5. The offensive tackles, Penei Sewell is 1. The interior offensive linemen, they don't have any. And I'm not even sure who would qualify. Tate Ratledge wasn't good enough to do it. Cade Mays wasn't good enough to do it. Christian Mahogany didn't play enough to be warranted. They came up with quarterbacks, and Jared Goff is 8, or was he 9? One or the other. Off-ball linebackers, and Jack Campbell was 5. Wide receivers, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe, was 5. And now they have safeties, okay? So you see Detroit is in the mix, except for cornerback, defensive linemen, or interior defensive linemen, and interior offensive linemen. Detroit's in the top 10, has at least one player in the top 10 in every category. I can't think of anybody in the cornerback position who would be there, even if Terrion Arnold wasn't taking pictures in a red jumpsuit. Aleem McNeil might be the outside guy if he were healthy and returns to form from a couple of years ago. Interior offensive lineman, going to be really hard. Tate Ratledge, hopefully he will be one of those guys, like Kevin Zeitler used to be, right? So safeties they came out with, the top 10 safeties, voted on by executive coaches and scouts. Number 1 is Kyle Hamilton. That's not a surprise. When he came out of Notre Dame, he's the guy I wanted. And I don't say this as hyperbole, please. Don't think that. But when he came out in 2022, I was pumped up. I really thought that Kyle Hamilton was the best player. And I thought an opportunity to get a guy like that could change your secondary for the next 10 years. And he's a guy I desperately wanted. And I thought he would have been a perfect, of course, he's a perfect fit for anybody, right? Baltimore's the team that was smart enough. And Baltimore's been a team that has always been very good at drafting players. Detroit, as you know, took Aiden Hutchinson number 2 overall there. Kyle Hamilton was taken 14th. He was taken after Jamison Williams and after Jordan Davis. And while a lot of people were hoping for Davis, I remember thinking to myself and saying out loud, I like Kyle Hamilton. Jordan Davis has been really good. Hamilton's been excellent. Jamison Williams has been really good. I mean, he's been better than I thought he would be. I wasn't a huge fan first year or so. Since that time, he's been one of the, I would say he's a top 15 receiver. You think that's fair? A top 15 receiver? Andy, would you call Jamison Williams a top 15 receiver?
It's hard to argue with the results he's had the past couple of seasons now.
Yeah, agreed. So, okay. So let's I don't want to call it a push, but let's just say that it's Detroit didn't do badly in that draft. Anyway, Kyle Hamilton, number 1. Derwin James, number 2 for the Chargers, outstanding player. Xavier McKinney, 3. Number 4 is Brian Branch. Highest ranking 2, lowest ranking unranked. Again, you know, we've done this every single day this week when we've seen these ESPN lists. I don't understand how you don't rank him outside of maybe the injury. Okay, here's what they wrote: the torn Achilles caused Branch 5 games. That played a role in the 2-spot slide from the rankings. But Branch has plenty of productivity while he played, posting a 1.9% pass breakup percentage, which ranked 3rd among safeties. Played snaps in the slot, mostly at safety, added 2.5 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. He was one of 2 defensive backs with at least 5 passes defended, 5 tackles for loss, and 2.5 sacks. Here's what they're saying about him: versatility, toughness, smart. He's a complete player. He's a baller when healthy. Got elite instincts. Another NFL personnel evaluator. He can play forward or backward at a high level. Not many can. Yes. Beautiful. Well put. They're only going to put the real positive things in your top 10 guy. It's going to be an interesting decision on what the Lions do with him because of the injury. He stays healthy this year, you're extending him, because he's a difference maker in the defensive backfield. 6 was Jesse Bates from Atlanta. 9 was Seattle's Nick Emenwari. 7 was Antoine Winfield Jr., which I thought was a little low. Last year he was ranked 2nd. Or last year he was ranked 7th, I should say. He had the highest ranking of 2, lowest ranking unranked. I thought he should have been higher. Buda Baker is number 8. And then it's Kirby Joseph. Now, you've seen, I'm sure, on social media, Kirby Joseph dancing around a little bit to prove to everybody who will watch that his knee is okay, which is a great sign. Highest ranking 4, lowest ranking unranked. Last year, he ranked 5th. So last year, the Lions had the 2nd ranked safety and the 5th ranked safety. This year, they have the 4th ranked safety and the 9th ranked safety. Hard to knock Joseph's impact when he's healthy. The production on per game basis is impressive. He had 20 interceptions and 35 pass deflections in 52 career games. In 2025, he defended 4 of the 8 targets in his area, qualifying for a 50% ball hawk rate, tops among safeties. He finds the ball, says one personnel evaluator. It's hard to find guys with post range like him who can play over the top. Over the last 2 seasons, the Lions had a defensive EPA of plus 28 when Joseph was the nearest defender, according to Next Gen Stats. You want to get inundated with analytics? Check out Next Gen Stats. By the way, that's the highest in the NFL. His availability is an issue that affected his standing in the top 10, though Joseph missed 11 games last season with a knee injury. So Detroit in good hands when healthy, and that's the key. So when people talk about availability is one of the most important traits a player can have, there is no doubt about it. So all you got to do is ask the Lions and it comes to their safety positions. Our phone number on the Meyer hotline, 866-838-4843. When we come back, dive into why Buster Olney thinks the Tigers should be buyers. But who do you buy? That's the big question. We'll discuss it on the other side on X's and Bros here on the Michigan Sports Network, broadcasting live from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Get a jump on back-to-school shopping with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves. Stock up on school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer 70-sheet notebooks, glue sticks, 2 pocket folders, and 10-count washable markers. Plus, save on breakfast favorites like select varieties of Meyer toaster pastries, pancake mix, syrup, and instant oatmeal, all just $1.79 each. Good life quality and real low prices. Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See the Meyer app for details.
Rod Stewart returns to Soaring Eagle Thursday, September 3rd. The Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series with special guest Richard Marx. Tickets start at $71 and are on sale now at the box office and etix.com. One last time, Rod Stewart with Richard Marx, September 3rd, SoaringEagleCasino.com.
You know, we're fortunate here in Michigan. We have some of the greatest golf courses in the country. Tullymore and St. Ives is part of the reason we can brag the way we do about our golf. Once you visit Tullymore, you'll keep coming back. The view is breathtaking. The golf is fantastic. The accommodations are regal, and the people are special. It really does feel like a home away from home at Tullymore. Make your play and stay reservations today by going to tullymoregolf.com or by calling 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837.
You have old retirement accounts still at former employers that could use some attention. You have accounts that the only time you hear from the advisor is when you call them. It might be time to take stock of your retirement and stop settling for less than you deserve. Having retirement accounts doesn't equal having a retirement plan. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth. Stop procrastinating and let's coordinate your retirement accounts and make sure you have a plan for success in retirement. At Mitch Lyons Wealth, we help people make sense of all the moving parts of retirement: taxes, income, risk, Social Security, healthcare, and legacy. It all works together, so let's make sure all parts of your plan are working together and not fighting themselves. Let's create a retirement of steel. Contact us today to schedule a brief chat to talk about your situation. If it makes sense, we can talk further. If you're good as is, we'll let you know that too. Go to MitchLyonsWealth.com or text PLAN to 844-867-8335. That's PLAN to 844-867-8335. Investment advisory services are offered by MLW Advisory Services, a state registered investment advisor.
Get a jump on back-to-school shopping with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves. Stock up on school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer 70-sheet notebooks, glue sticks, 2 pocket folders, and 10-count washable markers. Plus, save on breakfast favorites like select varieties of Meyer toaster pastries, pancake mix, syrup, and instant oatmeal, all just $1.79 each. Good life quality and real low prices. Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See the Meyer app for details.
Make sure you listen weekly to our Moving Ferris Forward interviews with Ferris President Bill Pink and other leaders who are moving Ferris forward. Find out more about Big Rapids and Ferris and what they have to offer at ferris.edu.
September 11th at Soaring Eagle, a hot night of soul.
Somebody sexy, tell them hey.
3-time Grammy winner Nino and the Princess of Hip Hop, Keisha Cole. Tickets start at $53 and are on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. Music that takes you there. Neo and Keisha, September 11th, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
What's up, Michigan? You're listening to my good friend Shep. The Huge Show is coming up later today at 3, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
All right, back with you here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network, broadcasting live from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. As we mentioned, players ranked in the top 10 in the positions for the Lions. Sewell, number 1 in the offensive tackle. Gibbs, number 2 in the running backs. Branch, 4th in the safeties. Laporta, I said 5th. He was 4th. My apologies. Andy corrected me. Hutchinson, St. Brown, Campbell, all 5th at their positions. Goff, 9th, along with Joseph and Jamison Williams, an honorable mention. There are some people who are never going to give the Lions a break. That's fine. You've earned that right. As a fan, you have earned that right. Anybody who tries to tell you different, you tell them to kiss off. You've earned that right. It's ridiculous that the Lions have never made a Super Bowl.
And supporting a team that hasn't for that long says something too. So, yeah, you've definitely earned that right, like you said.
Excellent point. Arizona is, by many people, a laughing stock. A lot of people feel like that. They've been to a Super Bowl. Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald and company played in a Super Bowl and lost to the Steelers. You could argue that Arizona should have won that Super Bowl. The Lions have never been in that position. You as a fan have never had that much pride and anticipation. So I can't tell Lions fans, I can't tell anybody how to feel, but I can't tell Lions fans that you're wrong in that regard, because I think you're right. I feel your frustration. My problem is that you're using, decades of frustration on one team and one owner now, when she has not been the reason for their past failures. These players have not been the reason for their past failures. Judging this team based on when William Clay Ford owned the team, or when Russ Thomas ran the team, or when Bob Quinn ran the team is not wise in my mind. Now, you want to be upset the way Brad Holmes does certain things? I don't think there's one general manager out there who has pleased his fan base every single year. I would say Brad Holmes has been the Lions, it's a low bar, has been the Lions' best general manager. The talent that he's acquired has been astounding. It's hard to argue that. You can complain about certain draft picks. I don't blame you. There are certain draft picks, if you want to use Kirby Joseph, Enos Rakestraw, go ahead. That's fine. Find me the general manager who's been perfect in every draft pick. You're not going to find it, all right? That's not an excuse. I'm just making a statement. He has had more wins, a lot more wins, than losses when it comes to the draft, I think. Now, is it good enough? Obviously, it has not been good enough for you or I, for this team, to do what we think it should have done. But they're a fun team to watch. They've got a lot of talent. This is a massive year for them, and there are no excuses. I don't think to their credit, I don't think they've given a lot of excuses. I think people have. People's provided them with excuses, and I don't think that's right either. It's like our conversation earlier in the show. Well, this is a Lions team that, they didn't have a lot of depth. That's not an excuse. That team, that's up to the general manager to build the depth. Well, guess what? Now he builds the depth. He gets a bunch of defensive backs. He gets a bunch of defensive ends. And some people, not all, some people are still frustrated. I don't give a crap about DJ Wanham. How good can he be? What do I need a certain guy, Larry Borum, on the offensive line for? Well, because of depth. It's one of those things you were frustrated about last year. If Derek Moore doesn't beat out DJ Wanham, look, you're going to need both defensive ends, folks. Drafting Derek Moore, did you think you're getting the second coming of TJ Watt? I hope you do. I hope he's just really effective. If it means he's going to share some time with DJ Wanham at one defensive end position, I don't care, as long as both of them are productive and healthy, because it's going to be better than what you got in all likelihood a year ago. hoping that they set the edge as well. Okay, so that's the whole situation with the Lions. I don't want it to come off like I'm frustrated with fans who complain about the Lions. You have every right to do that. Bringing up the fact that the owner hasn't come out and talked is a little nitpicky to me. Let's talk about the team in general. What's the owner's most important responsibility? Is it talking to you, the fans, and us, the media? Or is it giving their general manager and coaches the resources to put the best field on the field to play, or put the best players on the field to play? I would think it's more the latter than it would be the former. I don't need to hear from my owner all the time. Quite honestly, I don't need to hear from the general manager all the time either. I hear enough from the coach. General manager-wise, I would like to hear the general manager when it comes to before the season, the draft, free agency, trades, and things of that nature. I don't need to hear him every single week. That's just my opinion. Let's do we got the Friday six-pack coming up a little bit later on. They're just real quick to stick with football because we'd like to try and stay in connection here with certain sports. I saw this from an NFL analytic account. The highest percentage of receiver error causing incompletions. In other words, it's the wide receivers who made the mistake that forced the incompletion on the quarterback. If people are going to complain about Jared Goff, and there's plenty out there based on his lack of mobility, I suppose, there are two things that I've recently come across that I think might justify people's frustration. I like Jared Goff. You know that. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I'll take him under center for the Lions for sure. Doesn't mean I'd take him as my first overall pick. That would be the Patrick Mahomeses of the world, the Josh Allens, the Matthew Staffords of the world. But I'm okay with Jared Goff. I don't think it's a weakness of this team. Let's put it that way. I think you can win with him. Highest percentage of receiver error causing incompletions. Jacksonville 1, Denver 2, Cleveland 3, the Giants 4, the Washington Commanders 5. The Lions, based on this analytic account, are 30th. 30th out of 32 teams. Only Seattle and New England were better in that regard. So maybe, just maybe, people are blaming Jared Goff to a certain extent about certain incompletions when it's more on him than it would be the receivers. The receivers, at least based on this account, are doing the right thing. Then I came across this. A look at quarterback EPA play inside and outside the pocket. How well are you doing inside the pocket? How well are you doing outside the pocket? The improvising quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels and Cam Ward. All right? Those are the guys who are improvising more than anybody else. Again, this is an analytic account. All right? The quarterback who has absolutely no idea, struggles everywhere, apparently is Caleb Williams. Jared Goff is right on the line of the guy who is able to make really good plays outside of the pocket. Believe it or not, it's him and Caleb Williams, and Josh Allen is right around the same number, the same category. They broke it down into quadrants. Improviser, a guy who's making plays everywhere, and then you've got an area that is more of a pocket passer than anything else. They've got Dak Prescott, they've got Jared Goff, they've got Caleb Williams for the most part, shaded toward that area. Then they've got an area where they struggle just about everywhere. And the worst of the whole thing is Shedeur Sanders. I think I said Caleb Williams before I meant Shedeur Sanders. So if people are going to knock Jared Goff based on those two analytics that we just brought up regarding the wide receivers and regarding the pocket presence and so on and so forth, that's where you're reaching for it. I'd still take him. I think most teams would, quite honestly, because of his arm and because of his ability to break down defenses and read defenses. I do want to get into the Tigers discussion when we come back. Buster Olney from ESPN has come out and said the Tigers are are shading more toward being buyers than sellers. Do you think that's a good idea? We'll get into that here on X's and Bros when we return, broadcasting live from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. And this second hour of our program is brought to you by Meyer.
The big shows are at Soaring Eagle.
Eric Church.
All you gotta do is put a drink in my hand.
Friday, August 14th with special guest Ashley McBride.
The Free the Machine Tour.
Part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
Springsteen.
Tickets start at $87 and are on sale now at the box office and etix.com.
Drink a little drink, smoke a little smoke.
The party starts with Eric Church plus Ashley McBride. August 14th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for the Carmody brothers and all the Buffalo Wild Wings across Michigan. You can watch the end of the World Cup at all Buffalo Wild Wings in Michigan. Yes, the U.S. has been bounced, but the best teams in the world remain. And you can watch all the games on all the TVs at all Buffalo Wild Wings locations in Michigan. Every single World Cup game that's left, you can watch it at your local Buffalo Wild Wings.
You know, we're fortunate here in Michigan. We have some of the greatest golf courses in the country. Tullymore and St. Ives is part of the reason we can brag the way we do about our golf. Once you visit Tullymore, you'll keep coming back. The view is breathtaking. The golf is fantastic. The accommodations are regal, and the people are special. It really does feel like a home away from home at Tullymore. Make your play and stay reservations today by going to tullymoregolf.com or by calling 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837.
Where are you watching the Tigers this year? Superfly Hayes here for Detroit Sportsnet. Sign up like the Huge Show did with the Detroit Sportsnet Tigers Wings package. Subscription info at tigers.com and MLB.com.
18 after the hour. Welcome back. Broadcasting live from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. They have the new partnership with the Detroit Lions. That new partnership with the Lions means that they will have their own bar and watch area inside Ford Field. Excited for that. Tanya Barty will join us a little bit later on. She was a key member in getting that done. We've talked to a couple of people already here this morning, including a representative from the Lions and from the Chippewa tribe. If you missed any of that, we'll put that out on our social media channels here on X's and BrO's. Thanks for being with us. The Meyer hotline is 866-838-4843. You can text the program Sports Radio to 21,000 or join us in the chat as we stream live on YouTube, X, and on Facebook as well. You know, when people talk about adding or buying at the trade deadline, it's a fun discussion. The question is, are you going to do it generically or are you going to talk about it specifically? Because that's what happens when we do that. Well, we should buy. I mean, I guess Buster Olney has come out and said the Tigers are more likely to be buyers than sellers, which would tell you they would hold on to Tarek Skubal and not trade him. At least that's how I interpret it. You could trade him and acquire talent elsewhere to make yourself better. I suppose that's still possible if you feel like your starting rotation can absorb that type of hit. Cater Montero could move back into the starting rotation. Your 5 starters would then be Framber Valdez, in no particular order. Framber Valdez, Casey Mize, Troy Melton, Jack Flaherty, Cater Montero. Okay. You feel good about that? Did I just name 4 or 5 names, Andy?
You named
Framber Valdez, Casey Mize.
They got options.
Troy
That's
Melton,
the point.
Cater Montero, and Jack Flaherty. Okay, there's 5
That's
guys.
5. But I mean, yeah, are you super confident that Jack Flaherty
Yeah.
can keep it going the way that he has? Probably
Great
not. I mean, Cater Montero has been a really, really good story. I feel like, I mean, he's been moved around so much too and stuff. Who knows how he's going to be if he, starts consistently. I don't think he's ever really had that chance. I mean, he's had a lot of starts in a row, but I don't know. The fact, if you put him into a playoff series, how's he going to do there? I think it would definitely be more questionable. The question would just be then, what would they get back for Tarek Skubal? Like, what would be the return for Tarek Skubal? What makes them a better team this year if they get rid of Tarek Skubal to where it wouldn't be? Would you still consider it selling if they trade him for talent that helps them in the lineup? I mean, it's one of the more unique situations. I've never really.
It's a buy and sell is what it is.
I mean, all these reports from people, saying the Tigers aren't going to be set. I mean, this team, again, I understand the AL is bad and they can still go for it and everything else, but they're 44-51. I've just never heard of a team with a record that low.
Well, let's do it this way. Let me ask you this. If I told you, should it matter in your record?
No. I mean, maybe not.
Okay.
If they're back whatever amount of games, it is what it is. Just the whole thing seems unique to me. I don't remember, any of the years I've been watching the Tigers. I don't remember them being this close to the top while still being that many games under, 500. It's really weird.
I don't know how much. Again, I don't know how much it should truly matter. And I fall into it too. I try to remind myself that in 2006, an 83-win Cardinals team won the World Series.
Very true.
Okay. Now it's different. That's a lot different. We're talking 20 years ago, but still, they got in.
Right. Those kind of things.
The Texas Rangers not too long ago, they weren't great in terms of overall record when they won the World Series. So I'm trying to figure out, from my standpoint, what the most important thing for me is. What do I need to see from a certain team? What gives me hope? All these different ideas, right? And, I said that Texas Rangers team, they won 90 games. So that's not bad. People are acting like Detroit's going to be able to keep up this recent trend through the rest of the year. And I think that's a dangerous thing to believe in. I think that's a scary, or that's a thought that I don't understand where it comes from. You're looking at a very short sample size compared to a longer sample size. And I'm a person who believes big in, longer stretches. Okay. However, when you're as wide open as the American League is, should it matter how you get to the playoffs? Is it all that really matters is that you do get to the playoffs? Now, are other teams feeling the same way? Yeah. I mean, I would be feeling that way. Maybe it's a little different for us because we've seen what's happened over the last 2 years with this team and how strange the regular season can be and how it can play tricks on us a little bit. But either way, let's say they become buyers. And in this case, as we mentioned, maybe it's buyers and sellers, but either way, who are the players realistically that you want to target and go get? And I don't mean this by, well, Jackson Job's going to come back and help us. Gleyber Torres is going to come back and help us. Javier Baez and Parker Meadows are going to come back and help us. When? We haven't heard anything on their timeline. I am not expecting any of them to come back and help you before the trade deadline. Before August 3rd, I don't expect – and Jackson Jobe, I don't believe, is wearing the Old English D at Comerica Park before the trade deadline. I've seen like progress videos of guys like Javier Baez hitting off a tee and reports that Gleyber Torres is getting into a second stage or the next stage. And I understand that too. But I think that's wishful thinking. Let's talk about what is here and now. Let's talk in the reality. What could you go out and get that would help you right away? And instead of saying, well, they got to add a power right-handed bat, they've got to add a high leverage reliever. Who are the players? Let's be specific with players. So a guy like Taylor Ward for the Orioles, who's a left fielder, but he can play right field, and is reliable. I mean, he leads baseball in plate appearances. He's 32 years old. He's only batting .255. All right. He's got a career high in walks. He had 75 walks a year ago. He's got 75 walks this year. Strikes out a little bit, but he's got an OBP of 387. That's a possibility. Not a high average, not a lot of power, 6 homers and 25 runs driven in. But he's a guy who is going to get on base for you. Joe Adell. Joe Adell's a right fielder for the Angels. You know him for his defense more than anything else. He did have 37 bombs last year, has 13 so far this year. The problem is he doesn't get on base. He's got a 291 OBP. He's got an 87 strikeout, 12 walk ratio. Not good, but a good defender for the most part. And he's still a young player. Another name that I thought of, Ty France. Ty France is more of a first baseman, third baseman type player. How much do you need a guy like that? Hitting .267 with 11 bombs and 33 runs driven in. Mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, nothing jumps off the page, I guess, so far. But
Elliot Ramos for San Francisco, hitting .275. He's got a .468 slug. He's got a .311 OBP. Nothing special. 28 RBIs. Okay. Here's the name you should look for. Young-Hoo Lee. He's still young. He's 24. He's hitting .302. He's got a .333 on base. He's got a .429 slug. Nothing special there. He's only struck out 34 times. So he's top 7 in batting average and on strikeout percentage. You're tired of seeing the strikeouts, aren't you? Me too. He puts the ball in play. He plays right field, and he gets on base. How much would he cost? That's a great question. You'd probably have to give up some pretty damn good players in your system to get a guy like that. But if you're looking for it doesn't address the power. But the power is starting to show a little bit for this team lately, especially with Dingler in there. So that's a guy I think you should look out for who would fit well in right field for you as a right-handed stick. We're broadcasting live from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. We're back with more right after this. And an hour brought to you by our friends at Meyer.
Rod Stewart returns to Soaring Eagle Thursday, September 3rd. The Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series with special guest Richard Marks. Tickets start at $71 and are on sale now at the box office and etix.com. One last time, Rod Stewart with Richard Marks, September 3rd. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Huge here for the incredible Crystal Mountain Resort in Thompsonville, Michigan. If you've never experienced the mountain, it's unbelievable. They offer up 36 holes of championship golf, Betsy Valley, Mountain Ridge, accommodations, a ton of choices. Go to crystalmountain.com, see everything for yourself. One of the top spas in America. They can handle businesses, small groups, big groups, your buddies, the ladies, and more. Book your getaway now at crystalmountain.com. That's crystalmountain.com.
Get a jump on back-to-school shopping with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves. Stock up on school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer 70-sheet notebooks, glue sticks, 2-pocket folders, and 10-count washable markers. Plus, save on breakfast favorites like select varieties of Meyer toaster pastries, pancake mix, syrup, and instant oatmeal, all just $1.79 each. Good life quality and real low prices. Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See the Meyer app for details.
Where are you watching the Tigers this year? Superfly Hayes here for Detroit Sports Net. Sign up like the Ute Show did with the Detroit Sports Net Tigers Wings package. Subscription info at tigers.com and MLB.com.
All right, back with you here on X's and Bros throughout the great state of Michigan. Whether you're listening on some of our great station affiliates, could be in Cadillac, WKAD, the Ticket 93.7 FM, Grand Rapids that serves Kalamazoo and Holland on WMAX 96.1 FM, The Game. That's our flagship. Petoskey, Charlevoix, WMBN 104.7 FM, The Ticket, Northern Michigan. Traverse City, served by WKAD 93.7 FM. And in Lansing, WVFN AM 7:30 a.m. The Game. Maybe you're watching on our YouTube channel. Could be on X. Could be on Facebook. We stream live every single day here on X's and Bros.
Is the floor starting to get a little bit busier there?
Andy McDonald alongside. A little bit busier. Yeah, a little bit more traffic here. Feel like it's December. I'm right under a vent. Freezing my ass off.
It's better. It's better than if you were outside right now with that air still out there. I don't know how it is up there today. But.
You're right. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. 100%. I could be out there. I could have smoke in my eyes, and I could be or looking for a golf ball that went OB.
You know, funny story about Soaring Eagles. You know, you can be 18 to go there. Me and my friends, when we turned 18, I obviously am from Grand Rapids. We would drive there all the time, like on the weekends, just because of gambling. It's something new. When I went to school at CMU, I think I probably went there twice, and it made absolutely no sense that I only went there like twice instead of all the times that I drove the hour and a half to go.
Well, that's because while you were at CMU, you were too busy going to toga parties,
I don't know about that.
All that other stuff.
They got the famous bars of the Bird Bar and Grill, O'Kelly's. They had a couple of them up there for sure.
So wait a minute, I don't remember O'Kelly's.
It's Wayside. It's the one that's connected to Wayside. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right. So for us, it was the Cabin.
Yeah, the Cabin. Yeah, for sure. Wednesdays.
Wayside, and it was Tom's Foolery.
I had never heard of that one.
Yeah, and there was one more that's escaped. Oh, Wagon Wheel. Next Wagon Wheel.
Okay. Yeah,
those were the bars we went to.
The downtown ones became popular down like Mount Pleasant's downtown. They have like the Bird. I think one of them was called Rubbles. They had another one called I think it's the Blue Gator. They have like 3 or 4 of them down there that when I actually turned 21 when I was there, we went there all the time. I ended up going to those more than anything else. But
copy that. All right, that's good. Look, things change. Some bars don't. Some bars do, and sometimes that's for the better. They never had End of the World party while you were there?
No, I don't think so. What's that? End of the World, you said?
Yeah. Every year we had the last week of the school year. We had an End of the World party. So it was literally Main Street lined up and down the houses, on Main Street.
Yep.
Everybody had a bash. And it was unbelievable. The last year I was there, they had the National Guard out. They put up yellow tape everywhere around the university because it was so out of control.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, people on rooftops drinking beers and throwing. It was, yeah. We were, not that I should be bragging about this, but I believe my junior year, the big deal back then was, what's the top 25 party school in the country, according to Playboy. We only read it for the articles. And Central Michigan was, I believe, 24th.
Wow, made the list.
Yeah. Chico State was number 1. So that ought to tell you something right there. But remember, but when I went to school at Central Michigan, we had a really strong attendance. Their attendance is down.
Yeah,
a lot of them in major schools. The attendance.
Yeah, Western's dealing with it too. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, Western's dealing with it. Eastern's really having a real struggle with it. Via text, let's see here. Shep, did the Tigers announce before the Phillies series they're going to a 6-man rotation after the All-Star break? I didn't see that. I know when Tarek Skubal came off the IL, they talked about a 6-man rotation. When Jack Flaherty came off his Double-A assignment in Erie, they were wondering whether or not they were going to go to a 6-man rotation, and then they put Cater Montero into the bullpen, and that obviously made the decision for you. The question I would have now is, what do you do if Justin Verlander comes back? That's where they might be talking about a 6-man rotation. That's the possibility. I'm not positive on that, but I believe that's how it would work. Because then if you got do you like Montero in the bullpen?
I do with the way he's been pitching and so many different, and the way they use him is unlike anybody else they have. That's for sure. So
they use him longer innings. That's because he's
he's closed games when he's had to when no one else could, like stuff like that. It's just he's been able to be thrown into any situation and pretty much handle it. It seems like
I like him. Yeah, I like him in that role. I like him better as a starter. I wish they would allow him to go deeper as a starter. I think he's better than a bridge guy.
Yeah.
And I think he could be an effective starter. I truly believe that this team, is it next year or the year after? I don't know. But I really believe this team is in good shape when it comes to young starting rotational arms beyond Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize. Doesn't mean that I want to get rid of both of them. But I like Melton. I've liked Melton for a long time. I think Jackson Job's got the best stuff. And I like Montero as well. It's taken me a little bit of time to get used to Montero because he wasn't a strike thrower. He's better now. Those three young players with Framber Valdez gives you a solid four-man rotation. The problem with that, Andy, is that not many teams go four-man rotations anymore.
Yeah.
You need a fifth guy. What's even more difficult to deal with is the fact that you are going to need at least 11 starters during baseball season. I know that sounds extreme.
No, but injuries happen, so it's not what happens.
It's very true. It's very true. And you need to be prepared for that.
Yeah, the six-man rotation this year would be like, if Verlander comes back, you're mentioning all these things about these guys they have, and their starting rotation, since like the start of June has been one of the best in baseball, the way they've been pitching. It's hard, how do you fit Justin Verlander in there when he comes back? Right now, if everybody's pitching that well still.
Whose place does he take?
That's what I'm saying. Do you make it still a five-man rotation? Because obviously, if you do keep Tarek Skubal, you want to get Tarek Skubal every fifth day, right? I mean, there's really no –
sure.
You don't want to push him back a day. So, what do they – do they just keep Cater Montero in the bullpen at that point? That's what they're going
to do.
Yeah.
And that's part of my problem with any organization. And before people go, oh, my God, 11 starters, Shep, you're crazy. Dodgers have started 10 pitchers this year. 10 different guys have started. Now, that doesn't mean that they were consistently starters because they've had a five-man rotation for the most part. So if you look at starters, Yamamoto, Wroblewski, Ohtani, Sheehan, Sasaki. Those are your five guys. But they've also started Glass now when he's healthy. He's not been healthy, but he started 7 games. Eric Lauer, when he was healthy and he's not healthy, he started 6 of the 7 games he's appeared in. There's 7 starters alone, all right? So that's why I say, but overall, they've had 10. Even the best teams are going to deal with this. So you're going to have to be prepared for that. But back to what you're dealing with right now, my issue with a lot of teams, we can be specific in this case with the Tigers. Let's see what happens. If Justin Verlander comes back, do you feel like you owe it to him so much as a veteran and a 10-time All-Star and a Hall of Fame pitcher that he has to start, that you have to put him in the rotation? And if that's the case, then what do you do? Because you know what, if you have that mindset, Skubal, Mize, Valdez are going to start. Are you going to put Flaherty or Melton in the bullpen if you vie that Justin Verlander's a starter? Would you bring him out of the bullpen? Would you make him a closer? I know he doesn't like that, and Henley Jansen's your closer. Would you make him an 8th inning guy? I want you to think about that for a minute. These are the balances that general managers, pitching coaches all have to have. Justin Verlander's a proud guy. He wants to win. I give him credit for that. But deep down inside, the ego for all of us is deeper than anybody will really truly admit. So if Justin Verlander goes to the bullpen, he doesn't want to be a setup guy. He's not taking Will Vest's spot.
Right, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Is Jack Flaherty, who's got a little bit of experience in the bullpen, where are you going to put him? He doesn't have – do you think he's got the stuff to be a win-inning guy? You've got Kenley Jansen, who's probably going to be a Hall of Fame closer. He's at the tail end. who's going to be that 7th and 8th inning guy? Tyler Holton is happy to take that responsibility, right? What about those two guys? You're not putting Troy Melton back in there. Troy Melton's been one of your best pitchers.
He's not leaving the rotation. If he does, that's a mistake.
You didn't pay $38 million for Framber Valdez, and he's coming off his best start. So it's Skubal, it's Mize, it's Valdez, and for me, it's Melton right now. Those are your 4 starters regularly. You're going to have to make a 6-man rotation, but are you doing it for what's best for your team, or you're doing it because of the guy who's involved in that 6-man rotation?
Exactly, yeah.
You've got to do – if you're going to tell me all the time that you need certain situations for players, or you need certain players for situations, Jahmai Jones, and it took you that long to DFA him, which is just ridiculous. It took you that long to DFA Zach Short. Zach Short was picked up and then let go again. You know, they're just fringe. Those guys are just fringe guys, and the Tigers keep them around like, oh my God, we're afraid we're going to lose him. It's what I've complained about this organization for a long time regarding their 40-man rotation. You're not losing anything, okay? Nobody's going, I can't wait, and scooping him up because they're going to add to their team and he's going to be the final piece to the puzzle. It's kind of like when the Lions were bad and they broke camp and they let some guys loose, nobody else picked them up. Now that's not the case. They're going to cut some guys in September or August, September, where other teams are going to say, we've been looking at that guy. Jahmai Jones, Zach Short, those types of guys, not necessarily the case, right? But I think that's the situation you're going to have right now for Detroit with their starting.
Yeah,
rotation.
and by the way, they don't have any room for error. So if they decide to go to that rotation, it's like you better hope it works out with Verlander if you're going to force him into that. That's for sure.
Amen to that. Andy, so much has been made, and I understand it. Buster Olney has talked about it most recently, that Detroit is more likely to be buyers than sellers. And a lot of that is circulated around Tarek Skubal and the thoughts and what's going to happen. And as we've said on this show for a long, long time, there's only a certain number of teams that are going to be able to pick him up because the only certain number of teams have the resources. Well, I brought up numerous times about the Casey Mize situation. While everybody's zeroed in on Skubal, remember, Casey Mize is a free agent after this year. What are you doing with him? Well, he's been really good for this team. Over the last couple of years, he's been really good. And I've said, you're going to have to be willing to pay something with a 2 in front of him. Case in point, Chase Burns was just extended by the Cincinnati Reds. Do you know who Chase Burns is?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, so he's an all-star. He was an all-star this year. And he's got incredible numbers right now. He does. He's a really good pitcher for Cincinnati who does not necessarily have the track record. Sure doesn't have the track record that Casey Mize has. Kid's only 23 years old. He was a 20th round draft pick out of Wake Forest. But this is his first full season. Last year he started 8 games. This year he started 18 games. He's 11-1 for Cincinnati. All right? So a guy like this can be impactful for your lineup. I'm surprised you haven't heard of him. But anyway, he can be impactful. He's a right-handed thrower who's going to help the Reds' future, if you will. But they extended him 7 years, $105 million. So right there, what does that average out to? 15 mil, right? Think about this for a minute. While everybody's locked in on Tarek Skubal, Casey Mize's agent is going to sit there and go, hey, listen, just so you know, our guy's important to you too. And our camp is ready to make some money too. And I don't blame him one damn bit. That's exactly what
at this point, the season he's had, are you kidding me? I mean, he's earned the right to ask for some money if it keeps going in this direction. That's for sure.
So look at it this way. If you look at Sport Track is a really good resource. If you look at the players if you look at the pitchers and how much money they're making compared to what Casey Mize is making. So, for example, again, I try to look at both sides of it. We talk about arbitration in the past and how challenging that idea might be going in and trying to make a case for the team compared to a player. Casey Mize coming off an all-star season last year. So he gets $6 million. That's a pretty good deal right now for Casey Mize, if you think about it. Well, Tarek Skubal's making $32 million, and he deserves it.
It's a really good deal. It feels like right now.
Yeah, Casey Mize was an all-star last year, led the team in wins, and this year has a 2.79 ERA. He's got a .99 WHIP.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have been injured, I mean, you would have thought he had a chance to make the All-Star game again. Like the
Right
two
on.
injuries he's had is the only reason why he hasn't.
Right on, 100%. Then you have to ask yourself, what is he worth? So you have to look at starting pitchers around the league. Sorry, but that's just flat out. That's the case. I mean, when you're looking at things like that, you've got to look at certain active contracts because that's what you're going to go up against. So I'm not asking you to compare him to Shohei Ohtani, but I do believe it's important that you look at the specs, the comps, if you will. Casey Mize should make more than Trevor Williams. He should make more than Chris Bassett. He should make more than Zach Gallen, don't you think? Zach Gallen's making $22 million a year. So that's this year. That's for 2026. So if you're Casey Mize, aren't you using that? You're not using Garrett Cole. You're not using Max Fried, at 30, 20, 36 and 27 respectively, and overall 324 and 300 or $220 million respectively. You're not doing that. Dylan Cease just started the All-Star game. He makes $30 million a year. Casey Mize isn't going there. His contract is going to start with a 2, though. You and I both know that. It's going to start with a 2. You got to think of that. So while we look at Framber Valdez in the $38 million, and Tarek Skubal 32, those guys along the quote-unquote margins, those guys are making, the 15 to 25 in that range. Really important for this team moving forward, okay, when they're free agents. Unless you're going to get rid of them, then you're going to have to use some, I don't want to say bottom feeders, but you're going to have to get the guys who are in that range anyway right now, the Mitch Kellers of the world, to fill out your staff, knowing that your young guys are going to be at the top of your rotation, along with Valdez. It's just something you should be thinking about right now. All right, when we come back, we are going to stay right here at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and visit with Tanya Barty. She's the advertising and PR manager here. It's been an exciting couple of days for them, and for good reason. Plus the Friday six-pack and a lot of questions in this town other than just the Red Wings and Tarek Skubal. What is the biggest one that's on your mind here on X's and Bros, broadcasting live at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort?
Our state is Mecca for golf, and one of Michigan's crown jewels is Tullymore and St. Ives, 2 world-class championship courses in one charming and beautiful location. The golf is challenging but fair. You're going to use every club in your bag. But let me tell you what makes Tullymore really special. It's the people. From the wait staff to the bartenders to the pro shop and the management, their sole purpose is to give you a memorable experience, and they do. Go to TullymoreGolf.com today and experience a Michigan masterpiece.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Get a jump on back-to-school shopping with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves. Stock up on school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer 70-sheet notebooks, glue sticks, 2 pocket folders, and 10-count washable markers. Plus, save on breakfast favorites like select varieties of Meyer toaster pastries, pancake mix, syrup, and instant oatmeal, all just $1.79 each. Good life quality and real low prices. Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See the Meyer app for details.
Huge here for my good friend Josh Garvey and the team at Dorn Mayhew, West Michigan, one of the world's top accounting, CPA, and business firms. Our worldwide headquarters are in Troy, Michigan, on the east side of the state. And Josh and his team connect with all the sports fans and businesses across Michigan. They bring you John Beeline on the Huge Show. They bring you Lomas Brown during the Lion season. They are a top shelf team when it comes to growth and understanding what their clients need. And mix in when we do the Beat Huge contests or the NCAA March Madness brackets. Thank you, Josh Garvey, for what you do for the Huge Show and the Michigan Sports Network. Simple and easy. Just find Dorn Mayhew on all the social networks or just Google Dorn Mayhew and find out how they can help your business. And again, a special thanks to Josh Garvey and the Dorn Mayhew team in West Michigan.
with you here on X's and Bros. Let's move this just a little bit and get the good-looking person in here instead of me. Tanya Barty is the advertising and PR manager for Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. She's one of our favorite people because even though she's got a lot on her mind, she is always smiling. You've seen people panic before. I panic. Like, what the hell is going on? Tanya's just like, well, I just control what I can control, and maybe that's why things are so running so smoothly here. Welcome, and thanks for having us here. We always appreciate it. Boy, big deal yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, my gosh.
I was when you expand your relationship with the Lions, I was really impressed. I love the fact that you involved the Chippewa tribe, but man, that little guy who was out there doing the ritual dance,
yes,
he was really impressive.
Yes.
That dude's got great feet.
Yes, he is. We're deeply rooted with our community and Native tradition, and so whenever we have a celebration, we like to incorporate the singers and the dancers and the drumming and the songs, and the different songs have meaning for different, best wishes and things like that. So it is always, but that little guy, I tell you what, he gave Rory a run for his money.
Yeah, that's really good. Tell me why you think this is vital to not just you still have the relationship with the Lions, but why have a bigger presence at Ford Field for you guys?
For us, it's about bringing people together, right? We're deeply rooted in entertainment, in having a good time, offering experiences with concerts and live entertainment that we're doing. And that's what people will expect when they go to Ford Field, right? Of course, we want to see the Lions, and they're going to win. But what else can we do? What else can we have fun with, bring the family to? And so it kind of shares in those two philosophies. And so the partnership that we had previously with them was amazing. And we had great things that we could do down at the field. But now having our own sports bar, Soaring Eagle Sports Bar on the concourse, that's amazing. And that's just proof of the partnership.
I love that Soaring Eagle has such a nice balance of sports and entertainment. I feel like the sports aspect has been a little bit more of a focus than it has been in the past. Am I right, wrong, or indifferent there? And if so, why do you think that might be?
After this week, I'll tell you're correct. I mean, with our Monday announcement and then yesterday, we sit right in the heart of Central Michigan, and CMU is here, Central Michigan University. So, an hour from way is MSU, go green.
Go white. Yeah.
And so, it only makes sense. Concerts, yes, are live entertainment, but what else can we bring? What sporting events? And then that transitions from here down to Ford Field, down, when the Great Lakes Royals are here playing, when we're at Dow Diamond. So we have a lot of sports right in our backyard, and supporting it and growing our own is pretty exciting.
Take me back to Monday's announcement with the Great Lakes Royals and why you think that can be impactful, and explain to folks who may not know enough about it what it is.
So the Great Lakes Royals are a basketball super league. And they announced Monday that their home court is going to be Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. We are putting a full court in our ballrooms, and they are going to play anywhere from 14 to 16 games starting later this year. So we will be their home court. I was blown away when we were informed that we're going to have a basketball team. It was so exciting. The Great Lakes Royals really will introduce people who may not know about Soaring Eagle, who are more sports oriented and follow sports, but then they come to our property and see we're not just a casino. You can stay here. You can go to the spa.
Oh, the rooms are fantastic here.
Yeah, after our renovation a few years ago.
Oh my God,
yes,
it
absolutely.
really is. I mean, you feel really cozy and really comfortable.
Yes.
You almost don't want to go out.
Well, we want you to go out, but we don't want you to leave.
Yeah. So the Royals coming here is impactful for sure.
Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of the Maui Classic. So when I used to call college basketball and went to the Maui Classic, that's what it was done. It was performed. People don't know this. It's in like a ballroom,
really,
of a convention hall.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's very limited seating there. Could you envision this being something similar to that for college basketball teams moving forward?
Possibly. I mean, the seating capacity that we have is for approximately 700 people. That includes courtside seating, VIP areas, and bleacher seating that's going to come into the ballroom. So it definitely, I hope we're opening the door for other properties to look at that option for them, because it's not only you have a basketball team, you have a partnership. You're creating memories for people that are coming into the property, that are going to come see the game, that are going to eat at the food court or Ruth Chris for the evening. So it becomes an experience. And I think, people with spending their dollars, say their entertainment budget dollars, want to look for something more than just one thing. They want to encompass, the events and be able to get a more bang for their buck.
100%. Tanya Barty, the advertising and PR manager for Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, joining us here at Soaring Eagle. The one thing you notice anytime you come to Soaring Eagle is not just that entertainment and sports opportunity, but the people here who work with you and for you seem to really love their jobs. The experience you get when you come here, how important do you think that is from a priority standpoint for Soaring Eagle, for the people who visit?
That's number one. For us, it's number one. We want you to be able to come in here and have an experience that you won't get anywhere else. We strive for years to be, that's the number one goal, guest experience. We've had classes and seminars, and so we thrive on that, because when you walk out that door, even if you didn't win big, but you had a great experience with one of our employees, or you had fun with them.
Or you go to a clean environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And clean, safe.
Good food.
Yeah. You walk out going, again, that was a great time. Did I lose? Yeah, that's okay. But I got to have a good time. I got to, hang out with the team. And so, yeah, guest experience and customer service is number one.
What can you tell us about the upcoming entertainment schedule? Like when I hear the promos on our network and I hear Eric Church, I'm like, oh, that's awesome stuff.
Oh,
he's
yes.
phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I really, really like Eric Church a ton.
We'll talk after the show.
Yeah. No, I think he's outstanding. I think he's underrated from a country standpoint. But what can you tell listeners a little bit about the upcoming entertainment?
So upcoming entertainment tonight, we have Jordan Davis with Tucker Wetmore. Sunday, the Lumineers. I mean, and this summer we have had quite a few shows that have never been here before.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's kind of fun and exciting, don't you think?
Yes. Oh, it's very exciting. I mean, from an advertising standpoint, you get to brag that this is their first time here.
Yeah.
August 5th, which is only a couple weeks away, Jonas Brothers, never been here before. We did reschedule yesterday's show, the Alanis Morissette show, unfortunately due to the conditions outside. So she's rescheduled to September 19th.
So anybody who had a ticket for that show will automatically, that carries over.
Yep, automatically carries over. If you can't make that and you need a refund, then you can contact your point of sale, and you have till July 30th to get a refund, either cash or credit.
Okay. And Rod Stewart's coming too.
September 3rd.
Wow.
He is, I talk about underrated. This guy performs like he's 20 years old. He was here a few years ago, and I was watching him, and he was kicking beach balls and soccer balls, and he had all these dancers, and this guy puts on a show, and it's all the hits.
How do you go about attracting these types of entertainment? Eric Church, like I said, big name. Rod Stewart, big name. Jonas Brothers, big name.
Yeah.
Whether people like the music or not, you have to admit these are major attractions. How do you go about doing that?
Well, you have to have a larger event. Obviously, these bigger names couldn't play in our indoor events, but with 12,000 seats outside, that's very attractive for them. So we, as a marketing team, we sit down every week. We work with our buyer, a national talent buyer, and some artists go to him and say, "Hey, we played there before. We heard about the venue." We also look at what their open schedule is, and then we kind of collaboratively come up with a plan based on what the demographics going to like, what that kind of guests that's going to bring in, and how much fun they're going to have.
When you get feedback from your audience, because I do notice that it's okay to tap into my genre or my age group a little bit. You've seem to have a nice balance of those who were considered once superstars and now are just stars, and those who are rising stars.
Yes, well, we also want to give that chance to those rising stars, right?
Yeah.
Because when they hit it big, maybe they'll want to come back and hang out with us again and say, "Hey, I played here when," right? But we have such a great demographic in this area from when college students are in town
Mm-hmm.
to, Dow right down the road in Midland,
Sure.
Lansing. So we try to offer every genre available to all of our guests around the state because this is a destination. So if you're going to come here, you're going to come here to see a show, you're going to stay, and you're going to have a good time, I'm pretty sure.
You can understand why they want to hang out with you and hang out here at Soaring Eagle. Thanks, Tanya, as always. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Matt. You too.
All right, you bet. It's always good to visit with Tanya Barty and her leadership group. They're good people here at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. We're back after this. Stay with us on X's and Bros.
We go together. The Jonas Brothers. I'm a sucker for you. The greetings from your hometown encore. The Soaring Eagle Outdoor Concert Series. Special guests, boys like girls. Tickets for the Jonas Brothers start at $67 and are on sale now at the box office and etix.com. Hang out with the Jonas Brothers and Boys Like Girls August 5th at Soaring Eagle Casino. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
In the Den with Dan Dickerson.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. And it's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, your getaway reimagined. So what do the Tigers have to do to reach the postseason this year? As long a shot as many believe that is, I still feel the Tigers have a roster that can buck the odds and not just get back to the postseason, but make a deep run. To win in the postseason, you need run prevention, led by strong rotation and good defense. You need a solid offense, and you need to hit home runs. In 36 games since the Tigers got healthy at the beginning of June, the Tigers have the lowest ERA in the American League with a much improved defense. They've averaged over 5 runs a game while giving up under 3.5 runs a game, and they've led the major leagues with 64 home runs. Could they use another big arm at the back end of the bullpen? Of course. But it's all about making sure Scott Harris is a buyer at the trade deadline, not a seller. The Tigers have to stay hot for the next 16 games for that to happen.
Make sure you listen weekly to our Moving Ferris Forward interviews with Ferris President Bill Pink and other leaders who are moving Ferris forward. Find out more about Big Rapids and Ferris and what they have to offer at ferris.edu.
driven you just absolutely nuts that if you don't get it done, you don't know what the hell you're going to do. That's how I feel right now. So Eric Church is coming to play here at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, and I like him a lot. Andy, do you like country music?
I sure do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you like Eric Church?
I do.
Okay. Do you know any of his songs right off the top of your head? Like I know Springsteen.
Yeah, I was gonna say Springsteen.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Heck of a view. I'll say it that way.
Heck of a view. What's the one that starts off when he talks about Detroit? Take me to Detroit. Michael Fulmer
used to come out to that.
He used to come out to one of his songs as well.
That's pretty cool.
It's something like put that in your country song or shove that in your country song. He talks about Detroit and some of the other towns that are having a tough time.
Fulmer clearly had an idea of what he was doing with that one. Then.
Yeah,
Sure.
he did. Yeah. Anyway, I was just trying to talk about that with Tanya Barty, and I can't remember the damn song because I'll be honest with you, I got Van Halen songs in my mind right now.
That's fair.
It's driving me crazy. All right. I got Summer Nights and all this other stuff. And then my daughter wants to see Morgan Wallen. So she's calling me last night and she's going to see Morgan Wallen. But I'm thinking to myself, I want to go see Eric Church. Like I'd like to take my wife to Eric Church.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
And it would be really good. Did you follow it? Did you find it?
No.
Oh, she didn't.
But I'm getting you tickets, so stop.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm just trying to figure it out. Anyway, it's driving me crazy, but I'll find it. Let's get to the Friday six-pack. All right, go ahead. Okay. Give me this. Gosh darn it.
Justin and Nick of
Beer.
All right, Friday six pack. We're starting it off here.
Friday six
from the Soaring Eagle. I'm sure there's plenty of. Well, it's 8:20 in the morning, so probably not yet. But there is golf, there's casino. I'm sure people are gonna find their way to that. So anyway, my first question: if you could eliminate one yard work job, what would it be? Like take it out of your life. You just don't have to do it anymore.
One job in my yard?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's the easiest question I think I've ever been asked.
Okay.
I don't do leaves.
You don't like leaves? Yeah.
Oh, I have how many trees in my area? Over 20 trees in my area. And I got rid of 9 when I first moved into my house. I hate raking leaves. I hate blowing them. I hate any of this. I'll cut the grass. I'll do the driveway. But leaves, no way. So if I had to eliminate one specific yard responsibility, it would be getting rid of leaves. Now, I would also say this. My wife the other day had me move a bush that I planted 2 years ago. She had me move the bush, I would say 6 inches because it was overshadowing another bush. And I said, okay, so I did it. She left, came back. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I need to move it a little bit further. I had to move that blasted bush twice. And this thing is big. It's a big bush. I said, I'm done. This is why I want to move to a condo. Anyway. All right. So anyway, get rid of leaves. All right. What's the next?
Might be a couple things.
Yeah, next one. Yeah.
What's your favorite color for a t-shirt? Pretty simple, but you ever think about that?
No, yeah, I do think about it because I was thinking about it the other day. I don't have enough like coffee colored or taupe or white t-shirts. I have a lot of blue and black and gray. The gray shows the sweat obviously too much. I think a lot of it depends. I don't like wearing too much blue because if you're wearing it with blue jeans, I would say I need more white t-shirts, but black would probably be my favorite.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, this is kind of funny because I must have just been thinking of the same brainwave, but I said, favorite country music artist, or do you not care for country? So I was honestly
No, I do like country. So it's interesting. When I work out, I listen to heavy metal.
Okay.
When I play golf, I listen to classic rock. When I work in the yard, I listen to country.
Okay.
Unless I'm, sometimes
no country during golf though.
Not a whole lot of country during golf.
Okay.
Yeah, not a whole lot. If I had to pick a favorite country artist, that's a good question. I do like Eric Church a lot. I like Zach Brown a lot. I like Florida Georgia Line a lot. And I like everybody seems to really like who's the big name these days?
Morgan Wallen.
My daughter, Morgan Wallen. Everybody seems to like that. For me, I mean, I can go a lot of different ways, but I would say those 3 are probably. I do like Lee Brice.
Zach Brown band's in Grand Rapids this weekend. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see for sure. But
yeah, he's you will not be, if you go to that concert, you take your girlfriend to that concert, you will not be disappointed. I saw him at Wrigley Field on a day off when we were doing Tigers and White Sox, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Awesome.
I think Luke Combs is really good
I'd
too.
love to see Luke Combs for sure.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next one. You guys were actually talking about this a little bit during the break, I could hear, but I had this question written up. Do you remember anything like this wildfire smoke in Michigan that we've seen? We've seen it a couple times now, but this one, you can literally smell it like it's a campfire. I mean, it seems to be worse than anything I can remember in my life. So I was just wondering if there's anything that you remember that was worse than this.
I'm with you on that. My oldest son asked me and my wife that the other day, and Marty Boer, who runs our network, and I were just talking about this. The difference with this one is, and we've seen this before, but the difference is you walk outside and you can taste it.
Yeah.
Before, it might have stopped at a little bit of your, the vision, the inability to look too far ahead. But with these wildfire effects, you can almost feel it on your skin and taste it. Doesn't mean I wouldn't play golf in it, because I would.
We still put our league yesterday. We were the only league that didn't cancel, so.
Good for you. Way to go. I'm glad you played yesterday. I wanted to play desperately because I wanted to play Bucks Run or the Polecat here in Mount Pleasant. Mm-hmm. And I've never played Bucks Run.
Oh, Bucks Run's a good course, man.
Yeah,
Definitely
I heard it's outstanding. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take some, after the Lions press conference and Soaring Eagle press conference, I wanted to take some folks here from Soaring Eagle. But because of the conditions outside, they just weren't comfortable with it. I'd play in a spacesuit if I could play golf. So I don't need a mask or anything, but I would have definitely played. I can't remember anything like this. Andy, I was in Philadelphia with the Tigers, was it 4 years ago, I believe? And a game, it was so bad the game was canceled. I was in the dugout looking out and going, are we going to play?
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
So what we had to do is, and we had already checked out of our hotel. It was a getaway day. I think it was a Sunday. It's a getaway day. We had checked out of our hotel. Do you realize how difficult it is to rebook those hotel rooms?
Oh, I can only imagine. Gosh.
So, boy, Brian Britton at the time, the traveling secretary, did a great job of getting on the horn, holding the rooms. We went back to the hotel, and we played the next day. But I've never seen it this bad here in our state.
All right, we're getting towards the end here. What's your favorite story an athlete has ever told you? Like, it could be obviously there's some that maybe you can't put on air, but if there's one that's they've told you that's like just unique to you, I guess. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be on the air, right?
No, it can be whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like Kirk Gibson telling me he would tell defensive backs in the Big Ten exactly what he was going to do and then go do it. Sort of like when Larry Bird used to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop out. I'm going to take one dribble, nothing but net, and do that. I'll tell you, playing golf last week with Jim Miller and Todd Haley, I heard some unreal stories that I had never heard before. And I don't even know if they want them public. So those were a lot of fun.
Sure.
And I played with them at Tullymore last week. But sometimes, the backstories of what happened in a clubhouse with something that wasn't made public. I'll give you a quick one. Kirk Gibson once was challenged by Cliff, who used to play for the Blue Jays. Big
Cliff
guy.
Lee?
No, Cliff Lee was
I didn't think he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and Gibby just challenged him up in the tunnel. He goes, wait for me up in the tunnel. I'll be right there, and then we'll see how tough you are. The dude never showed, and he was a big guy. One more. Quick, go ahead. Sorry.
Sure, yeah. We're dropping everything, trying to get it together here. Being at Soaring Eagle right now, what's your table game of choice, if you have one?
Blackjack would be my table
That's
game of choice.
that's my favorite too, for sure. No question about
Doesn't
it.
mean I'm really good at it. Just my choice. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right. When we come back, that's it for the six-pack, the Friday six-pack. When we come back, a lot of questions in this town. What are some of the most pressing or the most pressing? We'll get to that when we come back on X's and Bros after this.
Our state is Mecca for golf, and one of Michigan's crown jewels is Tullymore and St. Ives, two world-class championship courses in one charming and beautiful location. The golf is challenging but fair. You're going to use every club in your bag. But let me tell you what makes Tullymore really special. It's the people. From the wait staff to the bartenders to the pro shop and the management, their sole purpose is to give you a memorable experience, and they do. Go to TullyMoreGolf.com today and experience a Michigan masterpiece.
The big shows are at Soaring Eagle. Eric Church.
All you gotta do is put a drink in my hand.
Friday, August 14th with special guest Ashley McBride. The Free the Machine Tour, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series. Tickets start at $87 and are on sale now at the box office and etix.com.
Drink a little drink, smoke a little smoke.
The party starts with Eric Church plus Ashley McBride. August 14th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Get a jump on back-to-school shopping with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves. Stock up on school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer 70-sheet notebooks, glue sticks, 2-pocket folders, and 10-count washable markers. Plus, save on breakfast favorites like select varieties of Meyer toaster pastries, pancake mix, syrup, and instant oatmeal, all just $1.79 each. Good life quality and real low prices. Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See the Meyer app for details.
September 11th at Soaring Eagle, a hot night of soul.
If somebody sexy, tell them hey.
3-time Grammy winner Neo and the princess of hip hop, Keisha Cole. Tickets start at $53 and are on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. Music that takes you there. Neo and Keisha, September 11th, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
So I finally found the answers to what was driving me absolutely insane.
He's back on track.
I'm back on track. The Eric Church song is called Stick That in Your Country Song. So that's what I was trying to figure out, because he brings up Detroit and Baltimore and some other bad places. So I think that's what I like about country music, quite honestly. You can tell it's a real story, all right? You can tell it's all about, hey, listen, I've experienced this. Guaranteed, somebody who doesn't listen to country music told him, why don't you write about this? And then he did it. And he's coming to Soaring Eagle on Friday, August 14th. Okay? So middle of August, which is going to be awesome. Anyway, so there's that. And then the name of the Cliff Toronto Blue Jay player, somebody had texted us, said Cliff Floyd. No, Cliff Johnson was a big dude, 6'4", 215. And that was Gibby's rookie year. Gibby goes, meet me up in the tunnel, big boy, and let's see what happens. So that has to do with the story that Andy.
I like that.
Yeah. Was not afraid of anybody.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good. Somebody texted and said, "Hey, Shep, regarding a couple things, have they about the 6-man rotation?" I must have heard differently. I said I think that had more to do with the Jack Flaherty coming back and Tarek Skubal, but I could be wrong too. Shep, no way is Kenley Jansen a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't think he is either. Who's got more saves, Kenley Jansen or Lee Smith? Kenley Jansen. Who's got more saves, Kenley Jansen or Billy Wagner? Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen or Dennis Eckersley? Kenley Jansen. Maybe that's not the case. But if you look at Hall of Fame closers, Mariano Rivera, of course, Trevor Hoffman, Lee Smith, Billy Wagner, Dennis Eckersley, Raleigh Fingers, Goose Gossage, Bruce Sutter, John Smoltz, if you want to call him a closer. He was both, okay, because he won a lot of games too. I mean, John Smoltz is one of those unique players. He's got 213 wins. He's got 154 saves. I'm not going to get into the lefty grows of the past. Kenley Jansen's got more saves than all but 2 of these guys. So that's the reason I say he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. This is what today's voters do, though. So whether we like it or not, that's what happens. Shep, Casey's agent is going to remind them, you screwed my client over for $25,000. That's the problem with arbitration. That's what happens, and it can lead to some bad feelings. It's a hard thing it's hard to listen to somebody who tells you that they like you, tells you that you're important to them, and then they sit there and say why you're not important to them. Now, I know the player's not in there, but the agent is, and the agent is saying, hey, man, by the way, I know that you think your organization likes you, but here's what they said about you. That's a tough thing to take. All right, let's talk about this a little bit, because it's a poll. It's our Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question. And our Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question, we have 2 of them for you today. What's the biggest issue facing the Wings? Hiring a GM, resolving the Larkin saga, extend to Brinkett, or other? And there's others. What do you do with Patrick Kane? What do you do with Simon Edvinson? There's a lot of questions with the Wings. Which franchise has the most question marks associated with it right now? What's the biggest question for the Tigers? Skubal, Mize, right? Seriously, I mean, you're not worried about, are they going to keep their manager? Maybe some people might say, what are you going to do with Spencer Torkelson after this year? But I think the 2 biggest questions have to do with their top 2 starters. Unless you think Framber Valdez is over Mize, which is fine. I can understand that because he's proven more in his career than Mize has. So, but 2 of their top 3 starters, you've got a question mark about. Are they going to be here next year? Those are 2 big questions, but those are the 2 questions. I suppose deep down inside, we could go a little bit deeper. How long before Max Clark? How long before Max Anderson? How long before Bryce Rayner, who was a guest with Andy earlier in the week? We could have all that. But the 2 big questions right now for this team, and don't give me the spending money and all this other stuff, because that's probably a question for every franchise in every sport. Are you going to spend on free agency? Who are you going to trade? Things of that nature. Talking about issues that this team has to deal with right now. And right now, it's the Scooble and the Mize situation. And before you say, oh, they don't have to deal with it right now, sure they do. They have to try and figure out whether or not those guys are long-term parts of their future or not. Are they going to be able to keep a guy like Tarek Scooble? Probably not, but they could keep Casey Mize. So you have to deal with that. I think the Red Wings have more questions than anybody else. Pistons, what is their question? The biggest question for the Pistons is, how are you going to, why haven't you done more to help Cade Cunningham? Is Isaiah Joe enough? Is John Collins enough? Most people would say no. There's a report out that the Pistons have looked into certain players. And the asking price, Trey Murphy III, that's the guy. Andy and I have been on that mountain shouting for months.
Still are.
Who would be best fit for the Pistons. No offense, Andy. If you and I know it, or you and I ask for it, don't tell me that Trajan Langdon hasn't thought about it.
None taken. That's why he's in the chair.
Right.
You should know that.
Right. So Trajan Langdon has called on it, but the price reportedly too deep. But that's a big question for the Pistons. The other question is, of course, Jalen Duren, and whether or not you're going to sign him to a long-term deal. Does he want to stay here? Those are some deep-rooted stuff, right? What's the biggest question for the Lions right now? The health of their safeties? Can you get that secondary pass rush out of DJ Wanham and Derek Moore?
I mean, I think asking about their offensive line is still fair until we actually see it on the field, too. So, like, will it actually be improved, you know?
Okay. I think it's a fair question. I don't know where it ranks in my priority list. Where does it rank on your priority? Like, how many other issues with the Lions are you more concerned about than that?
Well, the secondary is the biggest question for me. But
agreed.
I have all of them. I mean, it has
and
to be
right
right
now. That's a deep-rooted, legitimate concern. The secondary pass
especially because you're the two guys
rooted secondary concern.
The two guys that you have, and Branch and Joseph, you don't even know when they're going to be playing or what's going on with them. So that's what makes it such a big question.
Yeah, it really is. There are layers to the secondary issue, and I mean the Lions secondary. The layers are this: are your safeties ever going to get healthy? Is DJ Reed going to be better than he was a year before? Is he going to be back the way he was a couple of years ago with the Jets? And who takes the place of Terrion Arnold? Is it Roger McCreary? Is it Keith Abney? Either way, there are four legitimate questions about four legitimate secondary positions for the Lions. So now that we've talked that over, and the two questions for the interior defensive line, is Aleem McNeil going to be safe or healthy, I should say, to keep that position safe? Is Tyleik Williams going to be better than he was last year? It's all on the defensive side of the ball. Now, you could talk about the offensive line all you want. I think Cade Mays is a really big upgrade, and I think Tate Ratledge had a good enough year last year for me to think he's going to be good again this year. Now, you can question the left guard. I don't blame you there. I'm just telling you those two positions, 4 out of the 5 positions, I'm pretty comfortable with the Lions' offensive line.
Totally get it. They should be better. Sure.
Well, they should be better, but I think the players, but my point is the players, and if you think about it long term, the players under a long-term situation, Sewell's going to be there for a long time. Cade Mays signed a multi-year contract. Ratledge is going to be there a long time, and you hope it's Blake Miller. What's interesting about the offensive line conversation, and I really didn't ask you this, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. First, let me ask you what the concern would be. What's your concern on the offensive line, first and foremost?
Well, it was just last year. It felt like at times
last year's gone. So
it is gone, but okay. I want to see it on the field before I jumped any other conclusions that their line is just fixed because of who they added. I guess.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. I get everything in the offseason. We can say a bunch of stuff in the offseason. We thought, like the Tigers, for example, their rotation, right? It struggled for a while. Now it's looking a lot better now. Maybe it takes a second to gel. So I wouldn't with the offensive line, it's one of the biggest things, right? Continuity. I feel like last year the Lions lost a little bit of that. I think you are hoping that you get that this year out of this group, and their offensive line coach can get them in that kind of mindset to where they're all playing together and it's working the way that it did 2 years ago, and they pushed everybody around that they wanted to.
So I agree with all that. I think if you've got to be shown first, I respect the hell out of that. If that's the case, then it's going to be hard to convince you that anything is fixed.
Yes, okay. I'm not. So I think it's going to be better too. I do think that
are in line with one another. If that's the case, okay, because you don't know what the secondary is going to look like. You don't know what Isaac Tesla is going to look like. You don't know what the tight end situation. Why aren't you worried about the tight end situation?
No question. Yeah.
So the offensive line. What I was going to say is what's interesting is people are worried about based off last year. Are you worried about the right tackle?
I mean, you should be coming in. I think at least thinking about it. But yeah.
Worried or big question mark might be a little bit of a stretch for me.
I mean, at the end of the day, if Blake Miller starts, he's a rookie. I mean, there could be some problems there, right?
Yeah, if Larry Borom starts, he has started in the past. Okay.
Yep.
So I think those are fair. Are the Lions' concerns that you have all legitimate, deeper than all the things the Red Wings are going through?
No. To me, the Lions have at least a lot of position. Like, you know what you're getting out of your receivers pretty much, the Lions. You know what you're getting out of Jahmyr Gibbs to the Lions. Probably Pacheco too, because you know what you got from him in Kansas City. I think you can guess at least what you're going to get. The point I'm trying to make is with the Red Wings right now, I don't even know what their lineup's going to really look like their lines. Like who knows now?
I think with the Red Wings, the reason it's a little more concerning is because it's more drama related than anything else.
Oh yeah, for sure. No question about it.
Hiring a general manager is a big decision. Trying to figure out what you're doing with a guy who supposedly wears the C and a guy who says he wants out is really big. Bigger than I think a personnel move of a team that made changes like the Lions with proven commodities, at least in Cade Mays' situation. It's a proven commodity. And the reason I bring this up is because Tim Twentyman on DetroitLions.com wrote about this the other day with the Lions. What are the 5 position battles? Right tackle is one of them. Okay. Blake Miller, you would think would be a guy who would take over, but you're not sure. He said the other position battle is left guard. No question. Notice when I talked about the offensive line, I said left tackle, center, right guard, right tackle, all in good shape. And I still think they're all in good shape. So if you're only having one competition among your offensive line, then I think you're in pretty good shape.
You should feel better about it coming into the season than where it ended at last year. I can agree with that 100%.
Right. Number 2 cornerback. He ranks that as number 3. I would rank that as number 1. I'd probably go safety, health of the safety is number 1, then number 2 corner. Because DJ Reed at one corner will start. Rock Yassin, Enos Rakestraw took some first team reps during OTAs. What will that look like for this team? I like Roger McCreary and Keith Abney, but they'll be in the mix. You've got 4 guys vying for that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Then he brings up Will linebacker. So opposite Jack Campbell, he's the every down backer, okay, at the middle linebacker position, or what they call the Mike. So what do you do with the other? Who takes the place of Alex Anzalone and Kelvin Shepard? And then number 5 is the number 2 edge rusher. So similar to what we brought up. I feel pretty comfortable about the edge rusher.
Yeah,
let's get to the final results of the poll question, shall we? Our poll question, our Mitch Lionswell poll question of the day, we asked you this yesterday. Who should the Red Wings' next GM be? Sean Horkoff, Chris Draper, Nick Lidstrom, or outside the organization? What did people say?
I think you can tell that people are sick of it being through the organization, because 89% of the vote went to outside of the organization. Only 5% went to Lidstrom, 4% to Chris Draper, and Sean Horkoff got 2% of the vote. So, yeah, people want somebody outside the organization to come in and breathe some fresh air in the organization.
Yeah, so somebody from the NHL tweeted this out moments ago. One of the issues with Larkin is a lot of the teams are looking at Larkin and saying, he's a first-line center on the Red Wings, but this guy's on a good and second-line center. What's the price to pay for something like that? As I've said before, probably not a top 10. He's not a top 10 first-line center. He's probably a top 15.
I think
take
so.
that into consideration too. All right, how did the daily wager do?
Well, it's not done yet because obviously I made the one for golf
Right,
yesterday. That was the top 10. He did fine yesterday. He's right now hanging around. I believe he's tied for 11th. So I will either double boo myself or double cheer myself the next time we get to. He's tied for 10th right now. So, but there's obviously still people playing and stuff. So the standings are
he hasn't
changing.
off yet.
Yeah,
right?
so he's definitely got a leg up still. Right now he's in a good position to finish in that range. But I'm gonna give you guys another bet. Just for tonight specifically, I'm going to go with Troy Melton, who we talked about a little bit earlier. They have him for 6 strikeouts at around even right now. His last 3 starts, he's had at least 6 strikeouts. The last 2, he's had 9 and 7. Playing against a team like the Angels, I feel like he can get that job done. So,
yeah, plays the Angels today. He starts the first of the 3-game series against the Angels out west. It's the first of a 6-game road trip for the Tigers in general. And if you're looking at the Angels, a team that strikes out more than any other team in baseball. 917 strikeouts for the Angels. That's more than the Pirates. It's more than the Reds. The Tigers, by the way, have struck out 838 times. The Angels are ranked 30th in that category. Detroit is ranked 20th. So you might see a lot of strikeouts in this series, just so you know. Speaking of golf scores, have you seen what Lucas Herbert's doing so far today?
I have not. No, I have not been able to watch.
He birdied the first 3 holes. He birdied 4 of his first 5. He's at 9 under. He shot a 28 on the front nine.
Yeah, he does stand out in first place there. Wow.
Okay. He shot a 28 on the front 9. He's got 2 holes to play for his round today, and he's at 24 strokes so far on the back 9. He's got a par 5 and a par 4 left.
That's incredible.
He's 9 under par, which tells you the elite players coming up. Rory McIlroy is a +2 to start the day. They should have a chance to go pin hunting today at Royal Barkdale. All right, we'll talk a lot about that on Monday morning. We're glad you could join us here on X's and Bros as we broadcast live from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. I want to thank everybody from the Chippewa Council to the people at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, Tanya Barty for sure for joining us here and talking about the great partnership that they have with the Detroit Lions. We're always proud to partner with you here on X's and Bros. We're back with you Monday morning, 6 o'clock. For Andy McDonald, I'm Matt Shepard saying so long. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go hit them straight if you do play this weekend.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24